Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Francis Addai is former member of parliament for Asante Nimoh. He has risen through the ranks of politics. He started as a student leader. He's been through student leadership and through to the national partisan politics level. In 2014, he was one of the few daring men who took on established names like Alan Chemateng and Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the NPP flag bearership. He joins me today in the studio. Of course, he lost, but today his contender, one of his contenders, is President of the Republic. So, sir, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Gifty.
And thank you very much for your time. Where have you been?
Pleasure.
What have you been up to?
Well, first of all, good afternoon to viewers. Well, I'm around. You know, I live in Accra. Occasionally, I find time to go to my constituency also. And then a few activities that I'm involved in. And I think I'm doing well. I'm also refreshed.
Okay.
I mean, now I'm not directly responsible for a constituency, and you know the amount of political pressure that is associated with the office of the Member of Parliament. So, well, for the time being, I'm taking life easy.
You know, there are people who actually see it coming when they're about losing an election. Did you see it coming, yours?
No, not at all. I mean, but of course, once you go into any contest for the purposes of election, the outcomes are two. It's either a win or a loss. And so one must be prepared for either of them. And in my case, as I indicated, well, I could not foresee that.
No.
And so you only have to appreciate how life is.
That must have felt terrible.
No, not at all.
I mean, if you didn't see it coming, then it must have felt terrible.
No. As I said,
cry?
I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done that.
Okay.
When you have been offered the opportunity by a constituency to serve them for 2 consecutive terms, 8 years, I think I should express my appreciation to my constituency.
Okay.
And so, if you go in for another election and there is a defeat, I don't think that should be a worry to you. I mean, you must be prepared. Let me give you an example of President Barack Obama of the United States. He went into a contest in the state of Iowa. He lost that election before going to win the Senate election for that state to become a senator, and finally winning an election to become the President of America.
Okay.
So, in the context of elections, my view is that one must have the heart and the mind. I mean, if you are offered the opportunity to serve, it's leadership. And you are not imposing yourself. You only want to be given the opportunity that you can direct people, you can inspire people, and then you can seek the welfare of your followers.
What's the relationship between you and the current Member of Parliament?
It's cordial. There's no acrimony. I mean,
There could be, the absence of acrimony doesn't necessarily mean harmony.
Well, he also made 3 times attempt before he won on the 4th time to become the sitting Member of Parliament for the constituency. And so we are fine. I mean, if we meet each other, we exchange pleasantries. If we have to communicate on any issues, we will do so. Okay.
Well, since you spoke about presidency and used Barack Obama as an example, let's look at 2014. What informed your decision to want to take on people who have been known, people who have been marketed, people who, you know, whose faces and names were out there already? What informed your decision?
Well, one must have a conviction of what you want to do. And if you have a dream and you have a conviction of that dream, you must find the courage to pursue that dream. And so we say that the future is for those who have dreams and then have the courage to pursue their dreams.
But please go ahead.
Yeah. So if you ask me what informed me of my decision, I was personally convinced and convicted of the decision I took. And then my better half was also convinced. And then my kids were also convinced.
And they said, Daddy, go for this. You can get it.
Absolutely. And I also consulted a number of friends, and other family members. And so, I mean, one must be bold. We say that life, we make progress in life. We don't get stagnated.
So
you
being
don't
bold,
retrogress.
being bold, and this is a quotation from you in the run up to that primaries. You said, "I recognize the pedigree of the contestants in the race, but I also recognize my own potential as a leader, and I believe the party may have to look at a potential over pedigree to secure power next time."
Yes.
I'm wondering if you really meant that, because if you talk about being bold and being able to being a leader, it also requires that you have judgment and you have accurate judgment. And accurate judgment, you could say, looks or pays attention to timing.
You know, I'm happy that you made a referral to this quote, and I made that quote. In leadership, and of course in political leadership, there is pedigree, there is potential. So I call it the 2 P's in politics. So whenever you are going into a contest, you should assess where your strength is.
Okay.
And then articulate that strength to the people. If you go into a contest and you lose, it does not mean your judgment was wrong.
What about timing?
And it does also not mean that the timing was wrong. There must always be the commencement point.
But the party had already marketed Nana Akufo-Addo.
But the party at the same time is democratic. The party at the same time is democratic. And so the opportunity is given. And this is a party we pride ourselves of men and women of substance, of values, who have leadership. And they can provide that leadership to this country.
Why did you lose? Did you do an evaluation to find out why you lost?
Why I lost the election?
Yes.
Well, in terms of...
I mean, the presidential, the flag bearership race.
Well, in terms of quantitative analysis, I lost it. But I believe that at that time, in terms of qualitative analysis, perhaps I also won it.
How do you mean?
Well, I emerged from, let's say, the unknown.
To be number 3?
Yes, people asked, who is Addai Nimoh? We don't know him. What has he done? What has he achieved? But I tell you, I have been in leadership right from my school days. And many of my compatriots, they know me. And so when people were trying to find out what is this gentleman up to, sometimes it was just surprising to me. And so when you have come up from that situation and now people have known and they have assessed you, the quality you are made of, that if granted the opportunity to offer leadership, yes, you can do so, then it satisfies my whole being. Yeah.
So you were fulfilled?
That is why, yeah, absolutely. That is why I said that in terms of qualitative analysis of that contest, perhaps I also emerged victorious.
What was the relationship between you and Nana Akufo-Addo at the time? Has it changed from what it is today?
No, it has not. I mean, cordial relationship. I mean, we supported him in 2007, 2008, 2010, when he was seeking the flag bearership of the party again. I supported him. And then we all supported him in the 2012 election. I was a candidate at that time also. We campaigned for him. And therefore, after 2012, and I had my conviction that I should also put forward myself for the leadership of the party. And that is what informed my decision. The relationship has been cordial. He's the president. After the contest in 2014, I was part of the campaign in 2016. I traveled with him to most places in the country, supported him, urging Ghanaians that the NPP under President Akufo-Addo would perform better than the previous administration of the NDC. And that we had a team. We were all part of the team. Honorable Alan Tremantin was part of the team. Honorable Asamoah team was part of the campaign. Honorable Preku was also part of the campaign. We did not leave the president at that time the presidential candidate of the MPP to go it alone.
You did. You worked hard alongside
Absolutely,
the president,
we did.
and the people appear to have listened to you, and so they
Sure.
put the party in power.
That's correct.
Do you still have that relationship with him now? Can you take a phone right now and give him a call?
Oh, yes.
And want to meet him, and then he says, "Come around."
Yes, yes, we still do have it. I mean, the last time I went to the house was during the Easter holidays,
Okay.
the Good Friday. I was in his house. Unfortunately, I did not meet him. He had traveled to the coverage. But I met the First Lady.
Okay.
I was there together with my wife. We met the First Lady. We had fruitful conversation. So there's no problem, I mean, amongst
At all.
us.
That is
After all,
kind.
this is a big family. The party is a big family. And we should all be holding one another so that we still fulfill the dreams and aspirations of Ghana.
It's interesting that I mean, how you say you still have that relationship going with him. There were talks, actually, call it, I won't say rumors, but that a lot of people were queuing up at the president's house, queuing up at the Flagstaff house looking for positions. So are you one of them? And have you had any position yet?
Well, at the moment, there's no public position for me. And as you know, constitutionally, the president is the appointing authority.
Right.
And so let us give him that respect and allow him to go on composing his government.
Where would you like to be if he should ask you the question right now?
Well, I think it is premature at this stage for me to talk about that. That should be in confidence. And so it is premature to disclose.
No, but
in
of
public.
course, people have to know your competencies, you know, the areas of expertise, so perhaps can place you. It happens
Well,
all the
if
time.
you are a versatile person, if you are versatile, and you know, in football we also have utility players.
Okay.
They can play in defense, even to be goalkeepers. They can play in defense. They can play in the midfield. They can also play in the attacking machinery. So, if you find yourself as a versatile person, then you must be prepared to serve in capacities that are given to you. And I find myself that as a versatile person. Professionally, of course, I am a civil engineer, trained at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So I have been involved in road construction, engineering, civil engineering consulting, water systems, environment. So if you want to look at my professional background, then from your perspective, then you would say that perhaps you can perform in these sectors, maybe roads, works and housing, environment, you can perform. But it's about leadership.
Okay. Those
It's
places
about
actually seem
leadership
to
and
be
managerial.
filled already at this point, though.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that.
It's just
that
an
is-
example.
Yes, I'm just
Based
citing-
on your professional
based
background.
on my professional background. But as I said, one has to be versatile. It's a service to your nation. If you are given the opportunity to serve your nation, do so.
You talk about giving the president the time to form his government and everything. What are your initial thoughts about how he has done so far? A few days beyond the 100 days. What will be your own assessment?
No, I believe that in terms of the composition of the government, he's done well.
110 ministers. A lot of people criticize that.
Oh,
you think
absolutely,
it's okay?
absolutely. That there's been a criticism of the number, and of course, we could have the opportunity to have had a reduced number. But the president is the appointing authority, and he has a vision for the nation. And I think he has articulated the reasons for having that number so that he could fulfill his vision for the nation.
It didn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, though, the 110, irrespective of the explanations that the government gave.
But we have given the president the mandate. As a people, we have given President Akufo-Addo the mandate. And in giving him the mandate, we also told him that by the Constitution, appoint ministers and deputy ministers of state.
Okay.
By the same Constitution, we did not restrict the president in terms of the number that he can appoint.
Okay. But
So
we are
once
also
he has
looking
the
at what has
mandate,
happened before. Perhaps the convention, you know, so you learn
I know we learn from convention and previous practices. If you look at the previous administration of President Rawlings, through President Kufuor, through President Mills and President Mahama. So, I mean, one can argue that perhaps one should be looking at figures between 70, 80, maximum 90.
Exactly.
Yes. But this could also be an exceptional case.
Okay.
So that is why we say to
it's
every
only time
rule,
that can tell. There's an
yeah,
exception.
to every rule, there is an exception. And at this material moment in the history of our country, the mandate now is with President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he says that I have decided to assemble a total of 110 men and women of substance and of value to assist me in delivering on the promises that I made to the good people of this country, for which they repose their confidence in me. So at this moment, I think that any attempt to assess performance vis-a-vis the number of appointees, we may get it wrong.
They should wait till the end of the time.
Absolutely.
I see. Now one of the president's appointees has been in the news a lot quite recently, along with the party's Northern Regional Chairman, Bugri Nabu, and of course the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Otiko Jaba. You know how that issue went, and you know how it was resolved. A lot of people said that the party could have done better, could have punished them, so to speak, so that it will be deterrent enough. What do you say?
What kind of punishment, Gifty? I mean, apology is also a form of punishment.
People thought that it could be, some of them could be, or both of them could be relieved of their posts.
Well, that is why I said, if you refer to the party's constitution, one could be reprimanded if you go wrong against the provisions of the party's constitution. One can also be suspended. There's nowhere, well, one can also be dismissed by your conduct if you bring the name of the party into disrepute. In this particular case, the two persons involved, Honorable Otiko Efisajaba and the Northern Regional Chairman, Mr. Daniel Bugri Nabu, at the National Council meeting, which is the second highest decision-making body of the party, in its wisdom, asked the two persons to render unqualified apology to the party, to Ghanaians, and they complied.
That was enough?
In my view, that is the decision of the second highest decision-making body.
But was it enough? Was it good enough to deter other people from doing the same?
I think so. I think the deliberation at the National Council meeting looked into all these factors, and that is why they arrived at that conclusion, that they should offer the unqualified apology, and since then they have done so.
There were issues
and
about
another interesting thing, which also emanated from that meeting, was that persons holding positions in the party and who have also been offered appointment in government
should resign.
Yes.
Yes. This is something that I'll come to, but I wanted to find out what you thought about the issues bordering on criminality, as some people have put it. When Bugri Nabu alleges that Otiko Jaba is involved and knows things about the death of the party's Upper East Regional Chairman at the time, people have said that, look, these are criminal matters. It's not the party's responsibility to deal with criminal matters.
Yeah, I mean, that allegation was made by Mr. Bugri Nabu.
Yes.
And he came back to apologize and to indicate that was a slip of tongue.
Really? Do you buy that?
Well, you are now talking about criminality of the allegation. And so, for me, I think we should leave it for the appropriate state institution or agency to deal with it. But so far,
we haven't heard anything from them.
Well, the Ghana Police Service is there, the BNI is there, the Attorney General Department is there if they want to pursue it. I think that we should allow them. And if they want to invite Mr. Bugri Nabu for further interrogation regarding this allegation he made, I think we can leave it to them.
Do you sincerely believe that this will happen? We know the role, the very thin line between politics and governance in this country.
Well, why not? Gifty.
Sincerely.
Why not? It can't happen. It's not just because Mr. Bugri Nabu.
Will it? It can, but will it happen?
Well, that is why the suggestion has gone to the state institutions to consider that one. So it is up to these state institutions whether they will take that initiative or not. I'm not in the Ghana Police Service. I'm not with the BNI.
You are in the NPP.
Yes.
But anyway.
But I mean, if somebody makes allegations that the state finds it, and it's only the state that can take on criminal matters.
Right.
So if the
the state should.
Yes.
I see. You were talking about the party's decision that people in state positions should resign their party positions. The party is going to Congress next year. So next year, what are your expectations though?
Well, the party has not come up with any timetable for the Congress. What we know is that the party will hold a national conference in August.
National
conference in August. And at that conference, I believe that issues will come up. We will deliberate on the state of the party, the relationship between party and government, and then the internal reorganization of the party that must come up from this year. And that internal reorganization involves the conduct of polling station elections through electoral area elections to constituency elections where constituency executive officers will be elected to the regions and finally to the national elections. If we are to follow the timetable, and since every election, every position is for 4 years, then by next year, April, we should have gone for the national elections where new national executive officers will be elected. So it's a process and it takes a period of time.
Where would you be in all of these?
Myself?
Yes.
At the moment, I'm a former member of parliament and I'm not holding any position in party.
So?
Yes. So, I mean, I'm still active in the party. I'll play my role. I will support if the party forms any committee that require my services to be part of any process. Why not? We are still a member of the party.
Are you looking to contest for any of the positions?
Such as polling station?
No, I mean, if you should go for the national Congress, and
you mean at the national level,
at the national level,
any of the national positions?
Yes.
That consideration has not come up yet.
It hasn't?
No, not at all.
But if it should come up, assuming that I'm making it come up with you, I mean, I'm raising it with you, which of them would you be looking at?
No. Gifty, don't push me to that because...
I'm just asking a harmless question.
No, I mean, yeah, it is a harmless question, but it's weighty. I'm saying that I have not considered going for any national position.
But if you could, which one would it be?
Well, for now, I don't have that intention.
You don't have that intention?
Yes.
Do you feel that at any point you'll be called into this government, I mean, to serve? Is that something that you see happening?
Oh, it is possible. It is possible. The appointing authority, in this case, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, if in his wisdom, I mean, he invites me to serve in his administration, why not? It is also an opportunity for me to serve the nation.
Okay.
And
Delta Forces.
I'm available.
You're available. Well, Mr. President, in case you're watching, Mr. Addai Nimoh is available. Does that work? Okay, I won't give you an invoice for that. Delta Forces is the trending issue at the moment. I believe you followed it, so I won't belabor the point.
Well, somehow.
What are your thoughts?
Well, at the moment, what I've heard of it for the last 2 days is that the case has been discontinued.
The case,
Or
so 13 people.
The 8 people or the 13 people.
The 13, there's the Delta
There's
13.
the original case.
Yes, which is the 13.
The 13.
That case has been adjourned.
Yes.
And then there's the 8
yes.
who have been discharged.
And that has to do with what happened at the court.
Yes.
And they have been discharged.
Yes.
But the legal brains will tell you that they have not been acquitted.
Yes, but they've been discharged.
Yes, and that decision was made by is it the Attorney General?
The state prosecutor in that
Kumasi
region, yeah.
Made that decision.
Yes.
And the question is, does that state prosecutor have that mandate?
Does he not?
To discharge?
Does she not?
I don't know whether she has it. We have to look at the law. Because the law, in my view, I'm not a legal brain, but the little that I have studied about it is that it's the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana who decides on that. So if you are an employee within the department and you are responsible for the region and you have made an assessment that for this particular case, it should be the suspects should be discharged, you may not have the mandate. You will have to make the referral to your superior boss.
In this case, you support what the Attorney General has said, that they're investigating the state prosecutor.
They are investigating. Who is investigating?
They're investigating the circumstances under which she filed for nolli prosequi. So it's something they're looking into.
So it means that the Attorney General herself did not authorize.
That's what they say.
The discharge of.
That's what they say. But a lot of people have also said that this is pure politics going on here. They've said that you're making, or the Attorney General's department, or the entire administration is making a scapegoat out of the state prosecutor.
Well, if the prosecutor in Kumasi had the approval from the superior, the Attorney General herself, to file for nolli prosequi for the suspects to be discharged, the responsibility is on that prosecutor to give the evidence to that effect. Was the approval conveyed in written or in oral form?
I see. That sounds very...
Because, Gifty, the point is that within the department, we are saying that it is the Attorney General himself or herself who has a mandate representing the state in criminal matters.
In that case, then the state prosecutor shouldn't be at post in the regions at all.
No, they have to be.
Yes, they have the law backing their actions.
Yes, they have the law backing their actions, but the regulations may be that they do not have the authority to discontinue cases or to file for nolli prosequi. Okay. If you want to do so, make a referral to the superior body, in this case, the Attorney General herself. Let her study the circumstances of the case. Let her convey in written form to you, the subordinate in the region, that this is my decision. And the Attorney General will look at the decision on the basis of the evidence before her. And but if you take, even assuming Joy News here, you may have superiors who have to take decisions, or the whole of multimedia. There are some decisions that will have to be taken by Mr. Kwesichum. And if you're a general manager or a director and you take that decision, what do you expect Mr. Kwesichum to say? I see. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out, but that's a very technical, legalistic talk. Yeah. If you look at the social-political bit of the whole discussion, is it good enough for a party whose flag bearer, or let's say the president of a party that says, who's seen to be a champion of the rule of law, I mean, on the face value or for the optics, to free people who have said to have attacked a court? This is like a clear attack on the judiciary. Well, this is my personal view, and I hold it for myself. And I believe that we could still go through the legal process. And if the court finds it necessary to discharge the 8 persons, then the court will pronounce that. Okay. And in that case, it is the court that has taken the decision. And that is my personal view. Okay. And I believe we could have, traversed on that path. It will come back to bite
the party, don't you think?
No, I mean, in that case, you have gone through the legal process. Yes, they came to the court and exhibited a certain kind of behavior, you know, that the court didn't find it well. But having gone through the process and the court finally says that, yes, they have rendered an unqualified apology, they have demonstrated remorse and all that, and the court decides that they are discharging the said people or said persons. It has nothing to do with the party.
The NDC is accusing the party of interfering in the judicial process just so you could free these people who are your boys.
Is there evidence for that? I don't think so. I mean, that is a political talk, in my view, Gifty. Of course, as a party that has just lost the elections and so desperate to come back maybe in 2020 and looking for faults, mistakes of this administration.
Really?
They will certainly will capitalize on anything.
Are you not oversimplifying the issue?
No, I'm not. But if the NDC is saying that the party, the New Patriotic Party, is interfering in the court process, there's no evidence to it. The acting national chairman has not issued any instructions to the court.
At least not that we know of.
Yes.
In the media.
The regional chairman, Mr. Bernard Wuntumi in Ashanti region, has not interfered. The regional party has not interfered. All we know is that the Attorney General filed for a nolle prosequi, and so the 8 persons have been discharged.
Okay.
And that is what we are questioning. So, on the political angle, if the NDC is alleging that the New Patriotic Party is interfering in it, well,
they should prove it.
Yeah, they need to bring the evidence to that effect, which I do not think that they have any evidence, but just for the purposes of politics.
I see. The NDC was, again, the minority again has said that there's nothing stopping you from rearresting them, especially since they've not been acquitted.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing wrong. That is why I said that they have only been discharged.
Okay.
So if there is any new evidence and then the prosecution will find it necessary to rearrest them and then bring them before court and then prosecute them to the logical conclusion, so be it.
Right, let's wrap up our conversation. You told me that you're taking time off, you know, the political pressure that comes on you as a member of parliament. So you're just home? What are you doing at home? Sleeping?
No. Gifty. If I say so, it doesn't mean that I'm idle. No, not at all.
So what are you doing at the moment?
I mean, life has both public aspect of it and then the private aspect of it.
Okay.
So if you are not in public service, you must be in private service.
That's what you're doing.
And you must find something to do.
So what are you doing?
So professionally, I'm a civil engineer, and I don't think I've lost my IQ, my expertise in terms of how to design columns, beams, slabs, and how to supervise road construction, how to write reports. I don't think I've lost my knowledge in these areas. So I'm in private practice, I'm in private service, and if there's any opportunity to return to the public sector, public service, why not?
You look forward to that.
Yeah.
If I were to give you the opportunity to speak to, yesterday I spoke with ONEP. ONEP is warning against calls for disbandment of these vigilante groups. One of the things, the reason why they're saying that is that they've acquired expertise that makes them dangerous to the society. If you should just go after them and let them go, let them run, so to speak. They also say that if you look at the Nigerian example, the Boko Haram, those who empowered Boko Haram are the targets of Boko Haram today. The Delta forces, all of the forces that we know in the NPP, of course, perhaps was because you did not trust the police to help you enough since you were in the opposition. If you were to advise your own political party that's in governance today and the Delta forces and the Invincible forces, etc., what would you tell them?
Well, in life, any idle hand will always find something to do. And that is why it is important you keep people at work.
Okay.
And so, for all these persons, they are Ghanaians. They are Ghanaians. And they are also concerned with their livelihoods on daily basis.
Yeah.
And so we need to find a way to put them at work.
Okay.
Do something, engage their minds. And once we engage the minds of the people into productive areas, then the nation is secured. If you leave them, the insecurity is about all of us. It's not about any individual. One may say that the insecurity will be targeted to their leaders, but that is not rightly so. It is the over 27 million people. So actions, initiatives that can be taken to find something productive to be done by these young men and women. They have the energy to do a lot of things. Can we create something for them in terms of agriculture? Can we create something for them in terms of keeping our environment to be sustainable for this generation and the future generation? Can we find something for them to do? And that is why under the Youth Employment Agency, I think that I will urge the new CEO to look at the various models and additional models that can be brought on so that we engage all these young men around. Otherwise, 24 hours in the life of every individual, assuming you sleep for 8 hours, you have 16 hours remaining. What do you do with the 16 hours? Everybody thinks about it. What do you do with the remaining 16 hours at your disposal? You should find something productive to do
for them.
And once you engage the mind, then it is part of the nation building.
Okay.
And some of them can even be trained in various entrepreneurs, and they will take it up.
I see. Are you worried about the activities of such groups in your party, especially after the election?
Not only in my party, but even in the other party.
Let's deal with your party. Your party is in power now.
The Azoka boys in Tamale.
Your party is in power now, so
absolutely.
And they have wreaked a lot of havoc on people. So let's deal with them.
I look forward to seeing that all the young men, the unemployed, we can find something productive for them. It is not possible, and in fact, no nation, it is not possible to eliminate unemployment completely, but you can reduce it.
So their activities are as a result of unemployment?
Yeah, it could be. If you find, if you do a research about some of them, it could be that
they're idle.
They are idle, and every day they must engage themselves in doing something.
So your final words, sir.
Once we can initiate some actions that can bring them and to keep them busy, and their contribution should be felt by society.
Okay.
Yes, it should be felt by society. If we can even engage them around to ensure that Galamsey, we protect our water bodies, we protect our land, we are not destroying, why not? They will do it.
I see. Your final word, sir.
Well, what I would say is that this administration is just in the 5th month, and let us give time to the president and his team and the party. For the members of the party, I know that the expectations are high. We haven't gone 10% of the time yet. Maybe, yeah, we haven't done...
maybe 5%,
although maybe we have done it. At the end of the year, we will do 25%. Half year is 12.5. So maybe we have done 10% of the time for the 4 years. So let us all put in our best to support this administration to succeed.
Okay.
For the party, if the administration succeeds, we all succeed in 2020 and succeed in 2024 and beyond.
Are you on for 2020? Will you be contesting?
Oh, I think it is premature. We have a sitting president.
Okay.
You know, we have a sitting president, and the practice which the party will follows if the president is seeking re-election. And that practice was extended to former President J. Kufuor in 2004.
Sure. All right. We'll say a big thank you for taking time off to pass through our studios here today. Francis Addai Nimoh is former member of parliament for Asante Mampong, and like I said, he's been through the ranks. We've been having a conversation with him about what he thinks of the current administration, what he thinks of Delta forces, what he thinks of Otiko Jaba and Bugre Nabu, and all of those things, what he thinks of the party's structures. It's been an interesting conversation. You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty, and